Okay, good morning. It is Friday, the 24th of April, 2026, and we are live with this week's Honesty Hour. I apologize that we weren't on yesterday. Reason why for not being on yesterday was I got to our Easter clinic and we had a building-wide Wi-Fi shutdown and nothing would load. So I had to miss yesterday's, but we don't miss in the week. We are here this morning. Not at our usual time, like I say, but we've got a lot in store for you today. And remember that today on the Honesty Hour, it is not about 3 tips for back pain. It is not about how to improve my knee pain. It's bigger, deeper, meaningful questions that you might not feel comfortable asking people out loud, but you have in your head. It's the thoughts that keep you up at night. It's the questions that you have. It's everything in between. So what's going on in my world at the moment? Very interesting time. I have been away to Miami. I've been back from Miami for a week and a half now. And next week I go to LA, which is really cool. I've never been to LA. I'm very much looking forward to it. See what's happening there. We've got a business conference to go to for 3 days. So a lot of learnings to bring back to the clinic, to helping more people. So very, very exciting time ahead. Looking forward to the flight of that actually, so I can get a lot of work done. This weekend is my birthday. It's my 30th birthday, so got a lot planned for that as well. Very fortunate to be doing a few things, have a few things planned for me, and a nice time from that front. So very, very exciting time, very busy time, but it's good. Everybody's happy, healthy, and we're moving forward. So no complaints there. We've had, since I've last been on a live call, we've had our 3 free educational classes. So we did back pain and sciatica this time round in all 3 of our clinics. We had 2 on the Saturday. We had 1 Wednesday night just gone here in Portsmouth, which was really, really good. Had some great conversations, had some very interesting, complex cases come, which was really nice to be able to speak to people about that and help them on their journey of their health and well-being. And we're now working with a few of those people to help them even further. Now, some of these questions have come through via our workshops this week, our free educational classes. Others have come through our social media. So this one, for example, has come through our social media. And the question is, why does my pain keep coming back even though I've had a lot of treatment on it before? What am I missing? And the bit there I really like is, what am I missing? So the reason why I say that is I look at treatment and I look at somebody's healthcare journey, whether let's take back pain at this moment in time, as a puzzle piece. And we see patients that have gone to 3, 4, 5 different clinics, clinicians on their journey. And I might do some of the same hands-on treatment stuff as them before, but it's done in a different way, at a different time, in a different order, and we're putting the puzzle pieces together differently. But my job is to find what puzzle piece is missing within this current picture. And the bit for me, 9 times out of 10, is they've been heavily reliant on what I call passive treatment, not active rehab. And that is where they do the hands-on bit and they're just reliant on somebody touching them and doing the hands-on bit. I think that's great. We do that. We offer that because I think there's a big part to play with that. And I think that the way that the bigger healthcare system is going, that isn't offered enough. And if you're not getting the hands-on treatment part and you'll just be giving exercises, there's other parts of the puzzle pieces being missed at this moment in time. And so it's combining the 2 together that is really, really key. So going back to that, most private clinics that you go to rely heavily on the hands-on treatment bit because you can get the NHS to give you exercises. I'm not denying that. But the NHS just relies on giving you exercises and not treating you like an individual or helping with your pain by doing the hands-on treatment section and actually touching the area. So it's a combination of the 2, and the bit that's missing 9 times out of 10 is the merger of the 2 bits together and being heavily reliant on the hands-on treatment bit will get you out of pain short term. It will get you out of pain. It will get you back to being moving. It will get you back to being able to deal with your day-to-day life. However, it won't sustain it for a long period of time to reduce down the risk of this reoccurring. The bit that does that is the strengthening element. If you can get out of pain and then strengthen around the area, then strengthen the whole body, the likelihood of that ache or pain, injury, whatever you want to call it, reoccurring is then as low as it possibly can be. And the lower your reoccurrence rate is, the better your quality of life. Now, I'm not saying you have to do those rehab exercises religiously for the rest of your life. That's what a lot of people are told. You are now reliant on these things. I don't think that's the case. But I do think you need to strengthen up. I do think that you then need to maintain a level of strength. It doesn't have to be those rehab exercises. That could be through daily activity. That could be through gym work if you wanted it to be, if that's takes your fancy. It could be through making sure that you take 2 stairs at a time when you go up the stairs rather than 1 stair at a time. It could be that you do your calf raises while you're waiting for the kettle to boil. It could be that you practice and ensure that you get up out of a chair using your musculature, not momentum. So I think that there's a big divide. The NHS 9 times out of 10 only gives you exercises and doesn't treat the hands-on side. A lot of private practices go the other way and only do the hands-on side. But there's a bit in the middle where you need to merge the two together, put all of these puzzle pieces together, and give the body the bit to get you out of pain, but also the longer-term solution, which is to make your body more resilient, more robust through strengthening and movement patterns. So that's how you get your short-term relief, but your long-term fix of the issue in hand. Okay. What happens really at a scientific fundamental level, the strengthening bit changes the underlying tissue quality, changes the structure, it changes and rebuilds the area for long-lasting change. The hands-on bit manages the symptoms, the pain, brings all of that down so that you can do the strengthening bit. And I think the strengthening bit isn't then given at the ends of the hands-on bit. And if you flip that in certain institutions, let's call it, the strengthening bit is given on a weak foundation because you're in pain. So we're at 2 ends of the spectrum. We need to bring that into the middle. That's where we are as a clinic. But as my thought process is to that question, which if you've missed it for a bit of context, was why does my pain keep coming back even though I've had loads of treatment before? What am I missing? And it's the puzzle pieces being put together to create a tailored plan, all-rounded plan from hands-on treatment through to active rehab to strengthen and ensure that this doesn't reoccur. Now, the second question, we're going to breeze through these quite quickly today because I've got a patient in 15 minutes, is my stiffness and loss of strength just normal aging, or is there something I can actually do about it? Now, I strongly disagree with a lot of issues being put down to age. Age is a number, nothing more than that. If our body couldn't handle it, we wouldn't be at achieving that age. Now, do we get age-related changes? Yes, we do. I'm not denying that. Okay, we do get age-related changes. However, I don't believe that stiffness and a lack of strength is a result of aging. But it's a second-order consequence because we move less. So as we age, we tend to move less. We tend to do less strength-based activity. We tend to eat less. So those 3 things, and we tend to sleep less. And what I mean by that is we wake up more often as we age to go to the toilet, whatever that might be. So if we go to those three, we move less, we do less strength activity, and we eat less, we move less. We tend to become more sedentary. Yes, we might go for walks, okay, but we probably don't walk as far or as frequently as we used to, but we tend to be more sedentary. Therefore, we're going to get stiffer because we don't use our joints for our full range of motion as frequently and as consistently. So we're going to get stiffer. We do less strength-based activity, so we are going to be weaker. We don't lift as much. We get fearful of lifting. We don't carry things as readily. Other people do things for us. We don't get up and down from the floor as frequently using our legs. We don't do stairs as readily. We move into bungalows. We've got stair lifts, or we do a lot less physical activity. That is strength building. We then eat less, and we eat less protein. So therefore, we can't build muscle as readily because we're not replenishing our muscle stores with protein to help them grow. So we are going to lose muscle mass, strength, and be more stiff because we're not training the things that we used to train. And when I say training, I don't mean in the gym. I mean daily activity output. We think that walking is enough to keep our strength up, but it's not. Okay, walking is great. I'm not denying that. It's great for joint health. It's great for mobility. It's great for independence. It's great for mood. It's great for well-being. Keep that going, but it's not going to help you lift a plant pot. It's not going to help you get up from the ground. It's not going to help you get up and down the stairs. Strength work is that area. If you don't do the strength work and you don't eat enough protein, you're going to fall down and become at risk of sarcopenia, which is common but reversible, and that's the loss of muscle mass. Your muscle starts to eat away at itself and you start to lose muscle mass. Joints become stiffer because of the lack of range of motion. We start to move less. And the biggest danger here is that we accept that that is going to be our new norm. Now, to the right of me, there is a door. And the other side of that door is the gym. This gym has a handful of people over 60. Those that are in the gym regularly, and it doesn't have to be in the gym, it just needs to be doing some movement-based exercises. They are the ones that are most mobile. They're still strongest. We've got an 89-year-old patient that looks 75, 70, if I'm honest. 75 is offensive to her. She's one of the most mobile, confident, strong, independent people that I know. But she has chosen to do her strength work in the gym every day. I used to treat a 93-year-old patient. I got him doing deadlifts. I got him doing pull-ups. He came to us in a wheelchair and he left being confident enough to walk without a stick, be left on his own in his house while his wife went on holiday without him. And it all came down to he wanted to keep being as strong, mobile, and independent as he possibly could be and get his quality of life back. It is possible to reverse all these changes, but it is also not inevitable or just part of aging. So don't take that as gospel, that your aches and pains are a result of your age, your mobility loss is a result of your age, because it's not. Okay, we tend to move less, we tend to do less strength work, we tend to use our arms to get out of a chair rather than our legs, we tend to sleep less, we tend to eat less. If you change those things, you change your quality of life very, very easily. It's just about getting consistent with it. Right, I've got 10 minutes left. The last question that came through to us, and this one came on our social media. How do I know if I'm one bad movement away from losing my independence? And what can I do to prevent that? First of all, you don't just suddenly lose your independence over one movement. Okay. I know somebody's going to go, I could trip and fall, I fracture my hip, I lose my independence. Yes, I'm not denying that can happen. But it's not a result of that fall. It didn't happen just because of that fall. it is because of a loss of confidence and a decrease in your control and balance that's happened over a period of time. You haven't noticed the decline of it because you haven't been trying to maintain it. And so then you have the fall and you think it's a result of the fall. The fall just did the trauma. There was a build-up process to that point before the fall that is actually the cause of the fall. Let's put it that way, okay? And signs of that are struggling with stairs, struggling with getting out of a chair, feeling less stable on your legs, slower walking speed, smaller steps when walking, so a shorter stride, and looking down while you're walking. We have clients that say, I look down so I don't trip over. I see what's in front of me. When we walk and we walk confidently with our head up, we're scanning ahead of ourselves to see what is in front of us so we can make adjustments in real time and make adjustments early enough. If I'm looking down while I walk, I don't have the reaction time anymore to make change. Therefore, I'm more likely to actually trip over the thing I'm trying to avoid. The other part to that is if I look down when I walk, I put the heaviest object of my body forwards. Therefore, my body weight and momentum is going forwards. You're more likely to go down if you're looking down. That's the phrase I use very, very often with my clients. The other subtle signs are you're starting to avoid certain activities, things are getting harder, and you are noticing a lack of strength. Strength is the foundation of independence. Strength, then layer on balance, then I would layer on mobility. Some strength work requires mobility. I'm not denying that, but there's other exercises you could do to build the strength and your mobility at the same time. Okay. Now, if you want to test yourself and give yourself a target to work from and to reassess from, I would look at something like a sit to stand test. Put your arms across your chest. Don't use your arms. Stand up without leaning forwards as much as you can. So as the highest number you can within 30 seconds. That gives you a ballpark figure. So let's say it's 8. Now try and get to 12. So that means building your strength up so you can get to 12 within 30 seconds. The stronger you are, the higher your level of independence straight away. That's going to be the biggest needle mover for anybody over 50 struggling with their independence. Then it's balance, because strength will improve your balance anyway, but you can work on that. Then I would add the mobility point in. Okay. So there is what I would be looking at for somebody that is feeling they're one bad movement away from losing their independence. Remember that it's not one bad movement. It's the subtle signs that you might not be tracking first that leads to that one bad movement. But if you are strong and confident in your body, which this sounds like you're not one bad movement away. Okay. A life where you are walking around in the back of your head going, what if it goes? What if I do this? There's a lady that came to our free educational class Wednesday night, and she was fearful of movement because she would do a subtle movement and her back would give out on her. That's not a nice place to be. You have no confidence in your body. You won't do the activities you love and enjoy. You won't do the things that make you happy. You won't do the things that your family want to do with you because you're scared. And I appreciate that you're scared. But the way out of that is building your confidence through strengthening, because you don't want to be walking around on eggshells, cautious that your body is going to give out on you. So on that note, we're going to end the call now. I've got a patient in a minute. I will be back on Monday. It will be later on Monday. It will be 3 p.m. on Monday for a episode of this, The Honesty Hour. I then fly to LA on the Wednesday. So we'll have a lovely background Thursday for The Honesty Hour. So get your questions in either on social media, on all of our platforms, or via email at info@activemotion.uk. We'll keep it anonymous, but we'll get your questions answered for you at some point on the show. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. It's sunny here in the UK. I'm very much looking forward to the weekend for my birthday, and I will be speaking to you next week.